Hello there Couch Co-opers, I am Couch Coop and welcome to a video of the top 5 PlayStation 4 and 5 shoot-em-ups. Local co-op, gotta be 2-player, and we got some humdingers. I'm starting with Jamestown Plus. It's a game that I've had for a very long time and also got a lot of interest in on an aesthetic level. It's got some incredible artwork and I've also read up on some of its influences. I've had a look at the composer because the music stands out so well on this game. Jamestown Plus is also the only game that is legitimately 4-player that's on this list. And another thing is that the 4-player aspect of it does not hinder or meddle around with the frame rates or the amount of action that's going on the screen, and that's a really cool thing. It also features an upgrade and currency system and the option to actually take a loadout in regards to ship type. Like, they've got very different firing styles and that's a very welcome bit of depth. On the bullet hell scale, I'd say it's about a 7. It does like to lean towards occupying a lot of that screen with projectiles, but it also loves to queue up the enemies in that classic fashion, and it's got some spectacular, almost Metal Slug animations on all the explosions, and the power-ups on that beam weapon is amazing. When I first reviewed this game, I was completely baffled by it all, and I reviewed it on a 4-player basis as well. And what there is on circle, there's a button that allows you to switch your type of ammunition, and there's 2 types, and enemies are vulnerable to one and immune to another. You know the deal, there was another shooter that did this a long time ago, but Jamestown uses it to full effect and offers you loads of interesting scenarios where you have options with what sort of weapon you're going to switch in and out. And of course you've got that loadout system, and I chose a guy that had a sphere that you send out and retrieve. There are certain levels of synergy with your playstyle and what you choose to go out with. But let's get back to how it looks. This game came out in 2011, and if you look at these ships and also some of the designs, you'll see that it's got this Studio Ghibli vibe, and then the penny dropped is like Nausicaa Valley of the Wind thing going on, and once you realise it, you see that this game's a complete homage visually to loads of that really cool material. So hats off guys, I really appreciate the way this game looks and sounds and handles. Of course it deserved a re-release on the Switch and of course for the PlayStation 4 and 5 in the form of the Plus version. Is this game ridiculously hard, and can you play this game on your own and still have a cool time? The game is medium. It's not massively hard at the opening front end. And yes, I play this game on my own all the time because things are so crazy busy. When there's a lot of you kind of get distracted. It's really cool to knuckle down and see how far you can get on your own and explore all of that currency and upgrade system and use all those cool new ships, and of course seeing some of the bosses. The bosses steal the show on this game, so it's just an awesome package. Jamestown Plus. Skyforce was free many moons ago. I came across it because of that, and I didn't realise it was actually a couch co-op 2-player game. No 3-player, no 4-player, but this one's quite modern. So this comes with a lot of the cool stuff that you get with online games. What I'm talking about are leaderboards, but in real time, i.e. you see where your friend got up to in said mission. There's actually a marker, and that's a very cool thing. It really keeps you going, but the whole pace of this game is quite laid back. It's a little bit like 1942, which was an older plain top-down war shooter. This is kind of reminiscent of that, but I love its look and feel and sound. It's got a modern twist, but still deeply rooted in some cool retro gameplay. There is some pre-level choices with various perks giving you the addition to attract items towards you, have a first hit shield, that sort of stuff, but this one isn't really that deep when it comes to its upgrades and weapons. It's not going to be like an 8-way bullet coming out the front of your ship off the bat. You have to work for it, and getting upgrades for your weapons within the levels themselves has a minimal effect, but it does build and it does look cool eventually. The replayability in this one is steeped in its achievement system. When you go through a level, you have these layers of things that you can do to get this like perfect run almost. Like, don't take a hit, make sure you kill every single enemy, don't use any continues, rescue all the humans that are on the ground. You'll very rarely get them all, which gives you an incentive to retry and replay a level again. And of course, you get told if your mates have done any of this. Explosions and destruction aren't bad either, and enemy type and detail and the boats and the helicopters and some of the automated missiles that you get going on that just come out of your ship are pretty damn cool. So this one's totally recommended. Skyforce, only 2-player, but get on the achievement setup and start beating your mates on the leaderboards.
Timeless, after all.
Shoot 'Em Up DX is one of the newer games on this list, and a game that the developers reached out for a free copy for me, which I turned down and bought it anyway because it's not extortionate. I emailed them back and said thanks very much, and this is going on one of my lists because it is 2-player and it does have a really cool angle. The clue of the angle is in the name slightly. The 1-up thing suggests that there are lives involved, where there are ships involved. You have more than one ship that you have in a formation that you can expand or retract on the L and R buttons. It feels really natural, it looks really cool, and the larger you are, the more chance you have of generating this sphere in the center and getting a thwacking great bolt out there. And of course, if you're smaller, it's easier to avoid bullets, so there's this great duality going on. From that title screen, you might have seen that this game's been around before, and what I want you to do is keep an eye on the ground scrolling. There's some awesome art here. I didn't spot it till the replay. That's Gundam's helmet, right? There was a sword. It's really good with enemy design, sound, bullet hell, and projection hell towards the enemy. I'm kind of in love with this game. It's also very good on the amount of space it's allocated to you as a player. Playing this with 2 people is not crowded, and it's very good with highlighting what the projectiles look like that are going to hurt you and separating your projectiles from them, and giving you a choice of which direction to go to in some of the levels. But the show stealers for me are kind of the enemies and the graphics, and that idea of being able to increase the size of your ship to make yourself more badass. Where would I put this on a difficulty counter? Just above medium. And is there a lot of 1-player content? For its cost, more than enough. No major upgrades achieved out of game, but it's probably got the most incredible in-game upgrades I've seen so far on this list. And boss design, all that cool music, all those brilliant little bits that you've got to shoot off in order. Very, very good stuff. Shoot 'Em Up DX. Yes, we're going crazy, and you knew it would be back. It's Project Starship X. It's a roguelike, top-down, 2-player shoot-'em-up. A game I'm kind of slightly too obsessed with. The noises of it, the little pew-pew-pew of it all, the fact that it's a die-hard roguelike. This one leans towards the hard. Probably one of the hardest on the list, but man is it addictive, and what a good setup. Monolith, I've also heard, it has a similar system. Unfortunately, I didn't get that in time. This is very new, and if you've never seen it before, you need to get down there and play this. Expertly rerolls bosses, expertly rerolls levels and obstacles. It even drops in ad hoc vehicles. It's the first game to feature a dodge, which is on square. You sort of lean on it as you're firing, but you can only kind of dodge in a forward trajectory, and some things can't be dodged through. You can dodge through an enemy, and you also have to pick up stuff on a dodge, so the whole thing is sort of surrounded around your cooldown on this dash. It's very clever, addictive, and gives you a different experience every time you boot the game up. That's the thing, is its reroll system is like one of these modern roguelikes where the variables are quite large, so it's quite a rarity that you'll have a boss twice in the same playthrough. It really does inject some madness, this game. Its one-player content is absolutely stunning and one of the few shooters that is worth purchasing just for its one-player material. I think I probably played this game for about 5 to 7 hours, I think, and I've got 85% of the achievements unlocked, which is really not right. That can't be right. I hope they've glitched out because I don't want to platinum this game yet. I'm still loving it too much, and of course the difficulty level is ridiculous, so why not is it giving me that amount of achievements? I don't know. Maybe they'll retract them. Let's see. But I've put this at number 2 because of its homage to that classic genre and because of the way it's blended the modern roguelike or light into its gameplay model, and because of its relentless sound and visuals. It all is just this perfect, brand new, affordable, on all platforms, awesome indie game. And I think that might be what's hooked me, is the idea of doing random runs within a shoot 'em up game with a modern twist on all of my unlocks and progression. That really is a new idea for me when it comes to this genre, and I think this game has utilised that to the maximum. When you take a hit, the music slows down painfully, and also when we did this boss fight, our ships got really tiny and we had to just operate in this little arena at the front of this boss. It will constantly give you these new challenges and ideas, and the visuals are just quite literally blinding. So Project Starship X, get involved. Razer Gun is special. I think this could have been one of the first PlayStation 4 indie games that was officially available on the store, I think, don't quote me on that. But it was also my introduction to SHMUPS, and it wasn't a couch co-op game that I played at the start when I got it. I didn't realise that you could actually have 2 ships within this universe. It does make things a bit confusing, but it also works really well. When 2 people know what's going on here, you can have an incredible amount of fun. The gist of the game is to actually go around a wraparound map and pick up these green hostage guys, but you also can take hits. It is basically a Defender clone, which was a game available on the Atari. It's kind of a milestone side-scrolling shooter for the genre, to be fair. Defender was massive, and the idea of getting those humans, having a wraparound map, and the speed at which the game scrolled really knocked us all over as young gamers. But this is more than a homage. It also features some beautiful destruction mechanics and sort of cubist almost breakdown of everything that gets shot. That goes for the enemies and a lot of the structures within this wraparound map, and the levels and bosses are mind-blowing. Everybody has probably owned or played this game, but you might not know that it's an awesome couch co-op shooter. I remember the first time I saw that wave bomb clap around the map, or have about 90 enemies in the grid system coming towards me with no frame rate issues, and every single one of them dissipated into this beautiful detail. I knew I'd own a PlayStation 4. It was a real eye-opener, and especially that it was an indie game as well. I was like, I need to find out more on these SHMUPS people. Next thing you know, you've got Alienation, Next Machina. I mean, the guys know what they're doing. What I will also say is this game can be viciously hard. Once you get past level 2, 3 and 4 become crazy, and of course it's got a great online leaderboard system, and you can do this co-op mode online. That also brings me on to Housemarque reforming and got a new PlayStation 5 game on the horizon, which you all probably know about, but shout out to that, that's going to be massive. Okay, then we're going to wrap that up. You've had your 5, you cheeky monkeys. I'm going to keep you updated on all of the Cyberpunk patches that might be coming out in February. And of course, I think I'm about to get my hands on a PlayStation 5. I'll see you all down there.